Hey guys, G here at Rythmia in Costa Rica, and I met an interesting guy this week. I didn't even know he was coming, to be honest, but there's this big buzz around here when I got here that there's some YouTubers, YouTube stars. What do you refer to yourself as?
Thought
leader.
Most people call us YouTubers.
YouTubers, yeah.
Yeah, I like thought leader. That sounds cool.
Yeah,
that works.
Cool. So his name is Victor Oddo, hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada. And he's got a channel that's all about spirituality, personal development.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's about, I'd say about over 10 years ago, I went through what people call like a Kundalini awakening. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It's like it's sort of an intense, random spiritual awakening that's it's kind of common in the East, but it started happening to me. And I thought I was going nuts. I thought I was losing my mind. I was diagnosed with being bipolar. And I had all these very unique and unusual challenges that I couldn't discuss with anybody. But fortunately, I found some sources online and kind of guided myself through it, though it wasn't easy. But I'm finding a lot of other people are finding themselves having this experience. So I thought when it was happening to me, there was a lack of like solid information that online. So I said, I'm gonna be that source. So I eventually made a YouTube channel, sort of just sharing my experiences of what it's like to go through that type of awakening process. So what I would say in the beginning is I help people navigate their spiritual awakening simply by sharing my experiences.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what gave you that idea to go on YouTube? Was it just a channel that you liked?
It was a calling. Have you heard of a guy named Elliot Hulse?
Yeah, I'm friends with him actually.
Are you? Nice,
yeah.
Nice. So he was always a big inspiration to me. I admired. Those of you who don't know, he does daily YouTube videos. He's a kind of a fitness guy, but also very just a motivational, good model of a human being. And I liked his lifestyle. He was over there in his gym shooting videos, no shirt, and he had this cool like lifestyle about him. And I got so much more value from just this guy making these free YouTube videos that I can think than anywhere else in my life probably. And I thought, man, I would love to do that one day. Cool. And eventually it turned into like a calling that compelled me, almost like an inner calling, like, okay, now it's time to do that, Vic. But I went at that time I owned a gym. I used to grow medical marijuana. So I had these established businesses that I just had a knowing I needed to walk away from. I needed to just let them go and do this new thing, even though it was a complete unknown and it was super scary. I resisted my calling for a while because it made no sense. It just seemed so stupid to like let go of this life I worked hard to create to go into the complete unknown. But I did. I followed my dreams, and my family and I, we sold our home. We moved into an RV, believe it or not. And we moved across the country to pursue this YouTube thing, and it worked. It all worked out.
So where were you before? You moved to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I know I kind of went off a lot there. We originated in Michigan. Yeah, I used to live in Michigan. Yeah, so I closed down my businesses kind of on faith, on blind faith.
So this is before you had any success in YouTube?
Yeah, before,
wow.
Yeah.
And you're that confident that you're gonna either find something or go the YouTube route?
I had such a strong calling. I wasn't confident. I thought it was nuts, but there's a part of me that just knew I should do it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, some of the videos that you share, some maybe one of your most valuable piece of content, or that like a message that you'd give to people. Is it?
Well, what I just
stands out, yeah.
Yeah, sort of my story, just as I shared, I'm finding is a common theme with people. I don't know, you might relate with it, where like we sort of fall into a certain life path, and it's not necessarily what is a true reflection of our heart, or of our soul. And so again, I became a personal trainer. I became this medical marijuana grow guy, and it was cool. But I started to kind of wake up to the fact that these are not my real, authentic passions. And that awareness that I'm not really living a life that truly satisfies me, sort of compelled me to like, well, what will satisfy me? What is my life purpose, as they say? And then I started to kind of have a feeling of what that was, but then it required I had to let go of the familiar, the comfortable things in my life.
So how did you find out though what you wanted to? Because I know a lot of people don't like what they're doing, but they also do not know what they like or what they should be doing or what they want to do. Like, was there a process that helped you figure that out? Was there anything that?
Yeah, and what I found from working with people is like how for myself, I had a sense it had to do with YouTube. I didn't have clarity, and I know a lot of people they want to wait for the clarity. I'm gonna do this, stop doing this, and now I'm gonna do this. So I was waiting for clarity to come. What kind of YouTube channel? What's it gonna be about? How's it gonna make money? Then none of those answers came. So I just started making videos. And when I started out, I had 5 YouTube channels, believe it or not. And I had all these different topics. I taught people how to grow weed. I taught people, I had a fitness channel. I had like how to like, you know, become like an online marketer guy. And then eventually just my personal channel, Victor Oddo, where I just shared about off the cuff stuff real bluntly and no agenda at all. That was what got a response. And a lot of the videos were the ones about like the spiritual awakening process. So, and then I just sort of, from that experimentation, I got the clarity and then just went forth.
Interesting.
After that point.
So what advice would you have to someone that wants to start a YouTube channel? Is it you think it's too late to start a YouTube channel now? Because there's a lot of, you know, people are like, oh, I can never get to 1 million followers. I know you always have to start somewhere. Is there any advice you'd give to people who are resonating with your story and want to start their own YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. A couple things. It's never too late. And you can still blow up on YouTube. And it's even better, you don't really need to have a ton of, you don't have to have, like there's people with millions of followers that don't really have a career out of it. They're not really, you know, you don't need a million followers to have the satisfaction to be able to support yourself and to have like really just be living your dream. So it's not even about the numbers, but if you want those numbers, it's still available. It is getting more saturated, more competitive, but we actually, me and my friend Aaron have a business where we teach people to do this. We see people pop it on YouTube all the time.
Okay, so where would people find that? Is it like a website you guys have?
Sort of. It's we just sort of will mention it to
specific people.
I can like leave you a link if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, it's to like a presentation that talks about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but there's nowhere online currently you can find it. We just sort of will give it to people on our email list once in a while. We'll mention it. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So let's talk a bit about ayahuasca.
Oh, nice. Fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So at which point in your journey did you try plant medicine the first time? So you already had your spiritual awakening. You were searching, exploring. I'm sure a lot of meditation and eating healthy. And then when did plant medicine come into the picture, and how did that shift your life?
So as I mentioned, I used to grow marijuana. I like growing things. So I used to also grow magic mushrooms, and I did that a lot earlier in my awakening. So I would just take small amounts of mushrooms and go off to. I lived in Florida at that time in my life. I'd go to the beach and like meditate, and you know, kind of like here, I'd have intentions and I get clarity. But as far as ayahuasca goes, that was a few years ago, and the first time I did it was here at Rythmia. It was they reached out to me, as they do to a lot of other online influencers, and said, hey, if you can come here, you know, we'll pay for it, but you have to document your trip. And they offered it to me, and I said no way, because I have 3 kids, and I was like, I can't get away for a week. Ayahuasca kind of freaks me out, you know, I have all these connotations about it. But then I eventually watched their documentary, this Reality of Truth documentary, and it just resonated. I was like, wow, I was really attracted to the people who had done it. They had a lightness in their eyes, like, oh wow, these people actually, they look good. I want that peace, the serenity.
I have the same story. I watched DMT, the Spirit Molecule, and I can remember just looking in their eyes, they're telling the story. I'm like, no matter what they're saying right now and how profound it was, like, the only way I'll really get to understand it is if I experience it. I could just tell by their eyes something so profound had happened.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, then I came here and it was magic. It was just I expected to transform a bit. I did a little research, but like what I experienced my first like 4 in a row, you know, when I came here, was truly life-changing. A lot of it had to do with like one of the things in particular, as an example of like a real practical benefit, was an awareness of how I was sort of transmitting some of my parents' you know, like unconsciousness. I basically was like carrying out the same patterns as my parents towards my own kids, basically. And I became aware that, wow, you're kind of messing up your kids in these ways. And it was very hard to look at. But I changed. Just that awareness in itself was like, I'm a better father now from one ceremony. And there was many other transformations, but like I've been able to improve very key areas in my life in dramatic ways from the insights and healings and so forth from the ayahuasca. And that was just after a couple sessions.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. And so were you like really scared coming in the first time? Like what was that like? Because I know a lot of people listening are like curious, but was it as scary as you thought it would be, or because
I went through phases. So like when I decided to come, I did, like a lot of people, I did a lot of research, and there's a mixed bag of you know, experiences.
Good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, I talked to Jesus, and then I went to hell. It's like all these and everything in between, you know. So when I came in, yeah, I knew I didn't know what to expect, but I knew it can be challenging. But when I got here in particular, they really did a great job of making me feel prepared and equipped. And I went from nervousness to like excitement. I was excited for that first night.
And they say it's the same feeling, right? Like nervous and excited is the same feeling, except
yeah.
I can't remember what the difference is. I think it's just
like the beliefs you channel the energy through.
But the feeling in the body is the same.
Yeah.
And tell me, so you announced coming here. So a lot of your followers came this week, anyways.
Yeah.
What's that like, being in a vulnerable state in ayahuasca and people here? Like I've heard people say really vulnerable things in the medicine unknowingly, or do things that could be like. Was there any fear around that? How you would show up in front of your followers?
Yeah, we did the same thing last year on a much smaller scale. There's about maybe 15, 20 people that knew us, and I went in kind of nervous for the same exact reason, but it was okay. It was actually really cool. It was actually wonderful to connect with them. I got along with them all very well. This was a bit different. There was like 60 people that knew us, and it was. I don't know if we do it that exact way again, because it is such a vulnerable thing. It's like my time to do my own work, and I feel like a sort of a natural obligation to sort of be there and hang out with everybody. But there's so many people. I feel kind of wiped out, and I've been unable to really put the amount of energy I'd like to in either myself or all of them. So, but with that's like maybe the complaint, but it's a priceless feeling to watch people that that connect with me go through such deep transformations, and I feel flattered that they would come here based on just my word and their trust in me. So it's extreme. With all that said, it's unspeakably rewarding and beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess two other random questions. I'm curious. Do you read books at all?
Yes.
So what's a recent book that you read that really had an impact on you?
I'm reading right now the Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
Okay,
I've always
that?
had it. Yeah. It's awesome. I read his also Unlimited Power prior to that. And so real quick, I wake up and I read something like that, something motivational. We were talking earlier. And then like later in the day, I'll read something a little bit more like relaxing. So I'm also reading Be Here Now by Ram Dass. And I really love that. I think he's
It's with all the drawings inside, right?
I don't know if there's drawings. I think that might be his first one, Be Love Now or something.
Okay.
But that's the book, the Ram Dass book, and I'm now a huge fan of Ram Dass. He's awesome. I'm kind of new to him.
I got to show you a video after I shared with Aaron yesterday, the Ram Dass story.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, he's awesome.
And then I guess last question, just like, is there any like technology or apps that you use that really you feel helps you in your day-to-day? That's like a game changer.
One little thing that's been working for me, it's not really an app, it's blue blocker glasses. That sort of constitute of what you're looking for. You're thinking more technology.
Yeah, either or, yeah.
Yeah.
A tool that helps up your game, yeah.
So real briefly, I have this thing called a Whoop. Okay, it tracks my heart rate variability, which we discussed that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So my heart rate variability was always kind of low. And this is kind of a good marker of how well your body processes stress, right? And I started wearing these blue blocker glasses, which just block out the blue light spectrum. I wear them a couple hours before bed. They're kind of weird looking. My wife makes fun of me. And I also wear them at the computer. And my HRV has pretty much doubled, which is insane. And my sleep quality, my sleep clarity, just my day-to-day energy has just gone through the roof. And I'm like him. I'm into cold plunges, Wim Hof. We do a lot of this same stuff. And these little glasses have just been like a real nice little hack that I'm still excited about.
It's the small little things that you find. It's almost like internet marketing. You change the color of a button and all of a sudden your conversions double.
Yeah.
You get a pair of glasses, your HRV doubles, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I would say with that is like never like discount the value of something, because even something that might seem small can have a huge return on investment, whether that be financial or health-wise or whatever. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the key is to try it, right? Try it, and it's important to have some sort of biofeedback. I think nowadays, like I track like my sleep quality and sleep duration with the Oura Ring, right? And I just had no awareness of it before. And then once I started tracking it, I read a book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and it just opened my eyes to how important sleep is and all the aspects to it. And I made all these changes. Now I feel like so much better. Something I just totally took for granted. So like the blue blocker is one thing I added to my sleep regime, along with making it as dark as possible in the room. Like even something like your alarm clock, that light there will affect the way you sleep.
Yes, I took mine out of the room for that reason.
So when I got here in the rooms, I had these new phones in the rooms. They got this big white light on them. It lights up half the room. And I was like, okay, put my book on top of that. But anyways, yeah, so try these little things, and I hope they make a big difference for you. I guess last question, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wish I had asked about?
No, I'm just happy to kind of be on the channel. I'm honored to be on here. No question I was hoping to be asked, I would say. You know, my main message for people is like the story I told you before is like kind of an extreme example of how you can really follow your passion, and the universe will kind of make a way when you really just try your best, learn from your mistakes, don't give up. And again, I took myself out of, I broke down an entire life. And even though there's kind of a sloppy transition where I was living in a 21-foot RV, now I'm more abundant than before. I'm happier. I'm just in my element. My whole life is transformed. And the guidance, all I really needed was all kind of from my own intuition within. So I know that was kind of a little bit abstract, but that's like my main message, is that people can really follow their inner self and improve their lives in ways they can't even imagine. Yeah.
And if you need some tips on that, I'm going to put a link to his outline of how to launch your online YouTube
Sure,
channel.
I can give you that. Yep.
Yeah, cool. So check that out. I'm going to check it out for myself too, because I've been thinking more and more about expanding my YouTube channel. I haven't been consistent. Like, how important is consistency? And like, I guess, like, how many videos do you think is the minimum like a YouTuber should be putting out?
Well, I would say minimum once a week.
Minimum once a week.
And ideally a couple, 2-3 times a week. And consistency is huge, and that's challenging, because sometimes you're feeling inspired and it's like, oh, it's so easy, it's having fun. And other times you just don't feel like making a video. But as far as, it's just the way the algorithm YouTube works, it's important to be consistent. So what I do is when I'm on a roll, I'll shoot a bunch of videos and have them stocked up. And then anticipating there's times when I'm kind of in a funk and not feeling inspired, so I can maintain that consistency.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out.
You're welcome, man.
It was
a
awesome
pleasure
meeting you this week, and your wife, and maybe one day I'll come down to Vegas with the kids. And
that would be awesome. Yes, that'd be cool.
And yeah, check him out. It's Victor Oddo, O-D-D-O.
Yep.
O-D-D-O on YouTube. And if you like this, please share it, subscribe, click the button below, leave a comment, say hello. Love to hear from you guys as always. And we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, brother.
Cool.